Okay, good afternoon. This is our last class, as well the last tutorial. I think, okay, okay, shall we start? So, we have only 6 questions here, and question 5 do not need to know. So, please ignore question 5. I should have removed it. Okay, so, for the first question, determine the memory requirements to store 1 minute of uncompressed DVD video using the following parameter. So you are given frame rates, which is the FPS, 25 FPS, DVD resolutions 720 multiplied by 576, and pixel depth, which is 24 bit per pixel. So also calculate the conversion ratio achieved by MPEG-2 standard in DVD by assuming that the DVD by bit rate for DVD video is 6 megabit per second. Okay, so um, okay. One thing, in especially in examinations, do aware is that the question might be in compound. I mean, the questions display might be a compound questions, whereby it is not, A, B, and C. Perhaps in A, B, and C alone, in A, I mean, the question might request 2 items from A. Okay, so please do not over, or I mean, overlook on this one. Make sure you aware of it. Okay, and always check the examination paper because in previous exam, I think I have one question in the last paper, in the last page, only, I mean, a sub question in the last page. That one is a small cohort, but out of 4 students, 3 students did not answer the question. They do not aware that is the question over there. So please, because the question will say how many question in how many pages. So please aware of it. Make sure you flip until the last, very very last page. Okay, do not miss any question. And the other thing is that usually the question would be in a paragraph form, okay, which means it is a compound paragraph questions. So make sure you check the sentence, read properly, and list down the answer accordingly. Okay, not all question would be listed down like A, B, and C. All right. Okay, so for this question is to just perform the calculations. Okay, anyone want to share your screen? If I unshare my screen, okay. Mm, okay. So anyone can help to answer this? Huh? Yeah, sure. If you share, so I need to unshare my screen. Okay. Bit rate. Memory compression 6 milli. Okay. Is the rest get the same answer? Because my answer I did it in bit rather than byte. So there would be a bit difference. But I think based on the solutions should be no issue. Because I think is for the first one 720 multiplied by 576 is correct. Multiply by 24 and multiply by 25 is correct. And then you get the bit right. And then you multiply by 60. Yes, same here. But later on, I divide by 2 power of 30 lah, because I convert to giga. Okay. So you get the answer that 1.8662. What I get is 1. Um, 13.9 GB. Sorry, gigabit. And then I convert to byte would be 1.74 lah, like this one. Oh, okay. Yeah, the same. That is the reason the small discrepancy, right? Okay, okay. So let me check. Mm, yeah. Okay. 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 So yeah, I get 38.6 lah, which is round off become 39 lah. So okay. Thank you for answer. So remember in examinations, always remember that the division, conversion from bit to byte is a bit different. So always don't lose your mark lah because of this one. One moment, let me share my screen. Okay. So basically the flow is the same lah, just that when you did not divide accordingly, you might get some small discrepancy lah. And again in examinations try your best to give 4 decimal place lah. Okay, try to guess 4 decimal place, and during the calculation, within the calculations, if let's say you have 14 point blah 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 blah, you maybe can calculate using 4 decimal place, or the entire answer is okay. Usually when you calculate using entire answer, is more or less similar with 4 decimal place. Okay, but if you calculate using 2 or 1, then should be a big discrepancy later on. Okay, so remember to divide by 2 power of 30, so you will get this one, and gigabits you convert to byte, and then later on you get the compression ratio, something like this one. Okay, so The compression ratio, if you want to remain as 38.6, is okay. Okay. If you want to round off to become 39, it's okay. I believe somehow the compression ratio, especially when you do the lab report and also the assignment, you will find that the compression ratio somewhat is not exactly what as per the calculations. Because during the in practical wise, when you perform the compressions, it might have some of the round off error, we call it round off error. So it's normal that you have, plus minus maybe one, but it's impossible to have, 39, you get 59, something like that. It's impossible. Okay. So thank you for the answer. So question two, among IP and B frame used in video compression, which types of frame is using the following parameter? Uh, I think this is not something in the lecture notes. IP and B frame used in video compression. Which type of frame is using the same similar algorithm with JPEG? Okay. Anyone want to answer these questions? I think this is okay to put it in the chat box. You can either way, like you can put it in the chat box or you can share screen. Uh, 温良友. Okay. Would you mind to put your answer in the chat box? Or maybe you want to share screen? iframe is familiar. iframe is similar with JPEG algorithm due to iframe is a complete still image and utilize spatial redundancy in compression process, which also result in its being compressible, least compressible. JPEG algorithm is utilized for still image and hence it does not utilize P frame and B frame. Utilized for still image. Although I understand although I understand what you're trying to imply, but the last sentence, JPEG algorithm is utilized for still image, and it does not utilize P frame or B frame. I actually understand. I'm not sure if I understand correct. What you want to say is that JPEG is meant for still image, so iframe is still image. So it should be, should be iframe is the one who perform JPEG similar algorithm as JPEG compression. But for P frame and B frame is different, so it does not use JPEG compression, right? Just that your last sentence did not really reflect this meaning. Is I feel like I'm trying to use the P frame and B frame instead. Okay. Okay, thank you for your answer. Uh, Sometimes I can, I roughly can get what you all means. I think in assignment is okay. In lab report, some students, I might need to guess what he is writing, because um the writing did not really reflect the meaning that you want to imply, especially in thesis. I found that especially in thesis, it is like talking with me, but sometimes I don't feel like you're talking with me, but that talk with chicken or something like that. So it's very difficult for me to comprehend. I believe many of the lecturers have the same issue, because some others discuss with me. So we found this issue. Among your batch, among your batch. So although in examination no grammatic marks but at least you can deliver your meaning accordingly. Uh, Make sure you can deliver your meaning accordingly. Okay. Wrong in grammar is okay. Spelling is okay, but make sure you don't use those abbreviation like you are typing a text message. Okay. Okay, so frame. Okay, so Wing Yang are correct on this one, especially that the most common reason is that JPEG is meant for still image lah. So since iframe is a still image and it is, I mean, it is independent image, so it's common to have a JPEG compression, especially in reducing spatial redundancy information. Okay, PFrame and BFrame make use of motion estimation, motion compensation, in which they involve comparison between the current frame with the previous or succeeding. So for P frame and also this one should be P frame and B frame lah. This is explaining that it is not using not using JPEG. So P and B not using, iframe yes using. Okay, so because in video compression in video compression we have spatial redundancy and temporal redundancy. So spatial redundancy is mostly in the still image lah, in one spatial, I mean in one space lah. So iframe is one still image. So spatial redundancy should be focused in JPEG lah. Okay, JPEG in iframe especially. But for P frame and V frame, we are using the motion estimator. So motion estimator is trying to estimate the motion in the previous frame and also in the next frame. So P is for I mean capture the motion from the previous. V capture the motion from previous and future. So in P and V frame, we are mostly referring to the motion estimator instead, which is in temporal redundancy. But in the iframe, we are more likely to be used the JPEG compression, which is the spatial redundancy. Okay, so discuss the difference between IP and BFrame in MPEG-2 video compression. This one should be very easy. Let me pick someone else. Chun Wei Lim. You there? No, it's okay. Brenda? Okay. Would you mind to share us your answer? Sometimes I feel very weird because I join in and then Brenda got two device, some other like Yan Chang got two device, which means some people not joining lah, is it? I think for most of the classes we don't have sharp I suppose if everyone join in and I join in as well should have, oh, I have two device, so which means someone is not here present lah. Okay. Yeah, Brenda, you can share your answer whenever you're ready. If you want to share screen, please let me know. Okay. The MPEG-2 compression method groups a number of video frames together in what called GOP, in what called, oh, okay. GOP group of picture. I should, GOP has three types of frame: I, intra, P predictive frame, and P bidirectional frame. The sequence, oh, okay. The frame I is the least compressed and most complete frame with the GOP. Here, only information contained within the frame itself is compressed without any compression based on prediction. This is equivalent of compression of a single still and known as intra-frame compression. The first in the GOP always compressed using the interpolation P frame are moderated consistently. It's important to note that B frame cannot use other B frame. Okay, good. Very detailed. Um, my answer is very short. My answer is very short, but your answer is very detailed. Thank you. Maybe I can copy paste your answer. Okay, so just I mean I think you all know very well not very iframe. Oh, okay. This is not in the assignment. It's okay. iframe, pframe, and bframe is something which is the core lah. I would say the core in a video lah. So you should know that what is the characteristic of iframe, what is the characteristic of p and bframe respectively, and perhaps you can give example as well lah. Okay. Yeah. Thank you for your answer, Brenda, and differences frame with respect to last I or P frame, which is you quote something else from the previous frame, either I frame or P. Forward difference. Okay, so for B frame you have bi-directional both previous and the future. Okay, so all right. So the next one, discuss the advantage and disadvantage of using B frame in video compression. Okay, so this one is something I think not in the lecture notes as well. Okay, so anyone, uh, Yao Ting Long, you there? No. Lok Jing Lao. Okay. Mm, Yi Hang. Okay. Can you share us with can you share with us your answer for question 4? If you want to share screen, okay. Advantage usage of B frame is in usage of B frame is coding efficiency. In most cases, B frame will result in less bit being coded overall. Quality can also be improved in the case of moving object that reveal hidden area within a video sequence. Arrow generated with not will not be propagated further. Okay, within the sequence since B frame are not used to predict future frame. Okay. Not only future but for previous not only I mean the B frame is not in use for prediction for any frame. I mean not as a reference so that is the reason why the arrow rate I mean the arrow will not propagate or transmission to any other frame. Disadvantage, frame reconstruction memory buffer in the encoder and decoder must be double in size to accommodate the two anchor frame. Okay, I think this one is in the lecture notes as well. So if you have a lot of B frame and P frame, the reason why you when you have a lot of B frame and P frame uh, in your video, it might require longer buffer time. Is that the complexity of the video increase? Okay, as I mentioned, B frame and P frame itself it's only code the difference between the reference frame, only the code the difference. So um, the storage required to store these differences is very low lah. Okay, just that but then when you want to code up the algorithm to arrange all these sequential arrow rate difference, all these difference chip in accordingly and benchmark with the original iframe would be a bit complex lah. Okay, so if you have a lot of p frame and b frame in your video, you might need a longer buffer time to buffer the entire video because the algorithm take times to generate lah. Okay, but nonetheless, usually the algorithm would be very fast lah. But if let's say it is too many B frame and P frame, it may it may cause a delay lah, especially in buffer time. Okay, so this is the reason reconstruct memory buffer would be higher lah. Okay, thank you for your answer. So the advantage improve code efficiency as most B frame use less bit. The reason why less bit is that it only code the difference. Okay, quality can be improved. Why quality can be improved? Because it's the existence of the function of P frame and B frame is to predict the differences between the previous and the future. So make the entire video frame, the flow of the video frame becomes smoother and smoother. Okay, but nonetheless, if like for example the motion estimator or the motion vector is not that, I mean, not perform accordingly. You might see jumping boxes in within your image lah. I mean when you play the video lah. Okay, that is the reason why when you have P frame or B frame corrupted, maybe first second, the P frame there is corrupted. So you might see the artifact, like a bloggy feel, splash, flashing with another overlapping frame, something like that. This kind of that would happen. Okay. Better error propagation as B frame are not to use to predict any future frame, not only future but previous as well. Disadvantage, frame reconstruction, memory buffer within the okay, potentially more delay for online application. Okay, uh, because when you tend to play the video offline, usually everything will be well organized. When you play the video, you can directly play the video. How should I put it? Because when you buffer something else, when you play a video offline and you play the same video online, it will be different. Because when you play the video online, you need the data rate, the bandwidth to buffer the video. But when you download the video and you play it offline, you just need to buffer, you have two different things to buffer in when you play it online, which is the bandwidth, the internet connections, and also the all this complexity lah. But when you download it offline, when you play it, usually the pivot and prevent will be already well organized by your window player or whatsoever player offline, and you don't need to suffer from any internet connections or any bandwidth required to buffer the video. That is why when you buffer a video which is consists of many P frame and B frame online would be a bit longer than offline. Okay. Okay, question 5, no need to do. We skip this question. So basic impact compressions. Okay, let's look at this one. This is a basic intra frame coding scheme okay. You can use whatever it is. So convert to color space y UV or y CBCR. Again, you will find that why we always convert to y UV or y CBCR is that RGB I mean each channel in the R, G, and B consists of the luma and chroma information. But in YCBCR, YUV, over IQ, Y is the one who hold all the Luma information. UV, IQ, and CBCR are holding the chroma information. So by using by converting the YUV, YCBCR, or YIQ, so you can actually perform greater compression, especially using subsampling. Okay. So you convert to effective color space, which is YUV or YCBCR. A macro block usually consists of Y. Since I is more sensitive to luminance or luma, and less sensitive to chroma. So break frame up into macro block, which are typically 16 times 16. So sometimes it's X times X lah. Okay, both are okay. Perform DCT on each macro block. This macro block, which means 8 times 8 or 16 times 16. Is given. No quantization table as in, okay, this is no quantization table. And then zigzag vectorization, the same thing. Okay, again, zigzag vectorization. Make sure you don't go the other way around, please. Make sure you don't go the other way around. Okay. Um, please aware of this. And then run length RLE and zigzag vector. This is zigzag vector, and then Huffman coding on RLE values. Okay, so that would be a bit different only, but more or less you would found that the entire flow is the same. First of all, you convert to the color space which is favorable in Luma and Chroma. And then later on, you break down into macro bulk. And then CVCR, you perform subsampling. And the Y Luma channel, you perform the DCT. And then quantization. But for this one, you don't have quantization. Okay. And perform the RLE, zigzag RLE. And then you perform the Huffman. Huffman is to get the bit rate, which is 0101. Okay. So that's all. Any other questions regarding this one? Question two. Okay. Okay. So the question is that one of our colleagues he raised that the question is that for question two so the answer the I mean the way JPEG compressed, I mean, in, like, for example, DPCM, RLE. So they are actually coding the differences, right? Differences with respect to the first one. For example, DPCM is the most obvious. For example, the first DC value is 40, and then maybe 35, and then maybe 42. So the way the DPCM code is 40, and then maybe -5, and then positive how many, blah blah blah, and so on and so forth, something like that. So this is the pattern over there. And in iframe, P frame, and B frame, it actually had the same pattern, which means iframe is the reference, right? So P frame and B frame is actually called the differences with respect to the reference frame, no matter iframe or P frame. Okay, so among one moment, let me comprehend the question again. Among IP and B frame used in video compression, which type of frame is using similar algorithm with JPEG? Similar algorithm with JPEG image compression standard. Among IP and V frame, video compression. Which type of frame is using similar algorithm using JPEG compression standard? Okay. Can I know who else I mean has the same answer, similar answer now, because we have two types of answer. The very first type is the iframe use JPEG. P and B frame is not using JPEG because iframe is independence. So it will use JPEG compression as the spatial redundancy lah, to remove the spatial redundancy. But do you all have another types of answer? Anyone from online? Mhm. Similar algorithm with JPEG compression standard. Okay. I think if me lah, if I am the one who write the questions, I think depends on how you evaluate. I mean how you justify. I mean how you impressions. I mean your point of view. I understand your point of view. So I think it's acceptable. The question did not explicitly ask it's a similar algorithm. It did not explicitly say use the JPEG compression. So yeah, I think I can accept this answer lah. Okay, I can accept this answer. But um okay, I will blame the questioner because to me the question did not really ask explicitly lah. Okay, so okay, thank you for the answer. Okay, good. But in examinations, you should expect that when you when you see the questions, you would expect this is in some chapters. I mean, the scope of this answer should fall in some chapters. But of course, not solely one chapter or two chapter. If those marks with, I mean, with those questions with maybe one or two marks, then it's very direct. Usually, those questions with one or two marks is very direct. Like definitions, define this, define that. Those would be one or two marks. Um, Justification would be around 4 marks. And something higher than that would require you to provide um, example, in-depth justifications, maybe list down something else, and compare this and that, select one, something like this one. Okay, so this is the type of question you should expect from the examinations. Okay, so any other question? No, okay. So any question from those online? No, if no, yeah, I think we can end our class here. So good luck for your examinations and please stay safe. So again, if you're not sure what is the I mean SOP, please refer back the guidelines in the intranet. So make sure you arrive 1 hour earlier lah, okay, for all the examination 1 hour earlier, and you are in the final semester. Um, cannot afford for any any delay or any errors. Okay, so if anything happen, you can contact me via email or whatsoever, and I try my best to assist. Okay, and thank you so much. Good luck and bye bye.